Welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars, the place where hidden truths, whispered rumors, and breathtaking twists from the entertainment world find their stage. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe, tap like, and if you want exclusive access to deeper dives and behind-the-scenes scoops, hit the join button and become part of our inner circle. Now, take a breath, because the story lighting up timelines and private chats this week feels like something straight from a screenplay. The spotlight has swung onto an unexpected chapter in the lives of Baris Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel, a couple adored for their chemistry on and off the screen. According to sources who were present in London, Yağmur was invited to a discreet gathering at a luxury hotel, a private event with a carefully curated guest list, international producers, and a handful of A-listers. It was there, away from prying cameras, that a world-famous British action star, known for blockbuster roles and stoic charisma, approached her with what witnesses describe as a proposal that shocked even the most cynical insiders. At first glance, it sounded like a career-defining offer. He reportedly presented a role tailored to her strengths, a leading part in a high-octane film that would catapult her onto a global platform. But as the evening progressed, the tone shifted. The actor, evidently taken not only by her presence but by her sharp mind and the calm confidence she carries into any room, is said to have shared his intentions in a way that felt unmistakably personal. The way he looked at her, a source said, left little doubt. By the end of the night, whispers spread through the room. His words hinted at something beyond a contract, something like a promise, even a long-horizon vow. Marriage may not have been stated plainly, but to those listening, it sounded very close. The news raced across Istanbul by morning. Industry friends texted behind the scenes. Fans dissected every gesture from the event video clips that made their way online. The way she smiled without overcommitting, the pause before she answered, the careful diplomacy in her body language that only those who follow her closely would recognize. Within hours, the story had evolved from a curious rumor into a blazing debate. Was this just a generous professional proposition, or a heart-led move that dared to test an already fragile balance? That's when Baris entered the conversation, not as a distant spectator, but as someone deeply rooted in Yağmur's life. Those close to him say he spoke to his inner circle with clarity that startled even friends who know his protective side. His words, relayed to us by two separate sources, sounded like a pledge and a boundary at the same time. He would not sit by and watch outside forces push uncertainty into the mind of the woman he loves. He has always been open about how far he's willing to go for the people he cares about. This time, his tone carried a new, unmistakable edge. It wasn't anger. It was resolve. Their story has never been simple. Anyone who has followed them knows that the creative world around them can be intoxicating and unforgiving. There have been times when schedules pulled them to opposite corners of the map, when rumors stretched the truth thin, and when their quiet moments were packed with more meaning than 1,000 headlines. Yet they kept returning to each other with an honesty that made fans invest emotionally. People see in them a mix of grounding warmth and raw ambition, a realness that outshines even their red carpet glow. Still, this London encounter complicates everything. Yağmur has been vocal lately about wanting to devote her energy to strong roles, to pushing herself beyond expectations, to stepping onto sets that challenge her, even if they're oceans away. She has repeated that her career is entering a phase where choices must be fearless. That's why her silence now feels so loaded. She has not issued a formal comment, not a word confirming or denying the personal layer of the encounter. Instead, she has kept her public posture disciplined, letting her work speak for her and choosing not to fuel the storm. Those who know her say she is thinking, really thinking, about the path ahead. Meanwhile, the reaction online has split itself cleanly in two. On one side are the voices who believe this is a once-in-a-lifetime gateway. They insist she should grasp the opportunity with both hands, rise to the international stage, show the world what her Turkish audiences already love, and allow herself to evolve beyond boundaries. They cite the symbolism of the move, a celebrated Turkish actress stepping into a global arena with a role that refuses to be small. On the other side are those who read the night differently. They hear romance underlying the pitch, feel the presence of emotion from a man unaccustomed to rejections, and see risk in opening the door to attention that has nothing to do with scripts. They believe in the strength of her partnership with Baris, in the years of loyalty and growth they have shared, and they think love ought not to be gambled in a room full of strangers. The comments sections are full of promises and pleas. One message, liked thousands of times, sums up the loyal core of her fan base, that whatever course she takes, they will not abandon her. People have begun calling themselves by the sides they feel drawn toward: Team Baris for those who want to see him and Yağmur protect their home base, and Team London for those who hope she lets the international chapter begin now, with all the magnitude it implies. Entire threads unpack the meanings buried in a glance from the video, debate whether her smile was polite or intrigued, and weigh what ambition costs when hearts are involved. And then there is Baris, who rarely masks his feelings when he believes the moment matters. Those near him describe a man who has learned patience through hard experience, who understands that you cannot demand loyalty, you must merit it day after day. But they also describe a line he will not cross, letting uncertainty play games with a shared future. The phrase he used, softened here out of respect, suggested that he intends to stand between her and any confusion, to cut through the noise so she can see clearly. To some ears, his stance is jealousy, plain and simple. To others, it is the first time he has laid his heart on the table without shields, naming what he wants without apology. Insiders say that in the next few days the fog will lift. If Yağmur says yes to the role, and to the unspoken offer braided into it, she will be stepping onto a platform far bigger than any she has known so far. It would not just elevate her, it would carry Turkish storytelling across borders in a way that moves metrics and pride alike. Imagine the premiere nights, the global press junkets, the sudden pivot from familiar sets to sprawling international schedules. Imagine a scene partner whose name alone can fill theaters, now sharing frames with a woman whose strength has always been her ability to make audiences feel seen. The magnitude is real. Yet the other truth refuses to fade. Baris's words are still resonating, the way a confession lingers long after it's spoken. Many feel this is the moment he finally said out loud what everyone suspected, that his connection with her is not a casual arrangement, not a storyline written for publicity, not something he will let drift in and out of focus according to industry rhythms. It sounds like a promise, and promises have gravity. So the questions come, and keep coming. Does love demand a sacrifice from one or both of them, or can they architect a future that holds both intimacy and ambition without crushing either? If she takes the role and all that follows, can they map a life where distance fuels desire instead of resentment? If she declines, will the weight of what might have been press on them in quiet moments, the way missed chances so often do? Will she be able to separate the professional offer from the personal attention that colored it, or are they fused in a way that makes a clean yes or no impossible? Friends on both sides are reportedly counseling calm. Some urge her to negotiate strictly on creative terms, cutting out any personal undertones. Others advise stepping back until the fog clears, then making the call in daylight. A few confidants are said to be telling Baris to trust the foundation they've built and to let her find her way without turning the story into a tug-of-war. If there is one thing the two of them have proven, it's that silence is sometimes the most eloquent answer, and patience the most romantic gesture. There's also the public image to consider. Yağmur has crafted a persona that blends elegance with independence. She is admired for treating fame as a tool, not a destination. Baris brings warmth to tough roles and sincerity to every interview, and people sense he means what he says. That's why this moment hits so hard. It asks both of them to live the values they have declared, to chase excellence, to honor each other, and to face complications without running. If she embraces the project, it could be a landmark for Turkish cinema, proof that hearts forged at home can thrive on the world stage without losing their glow. If she turns away, it could be an equally powerful statement, that the right time for global moves is the time that honors her relationship and her own pace, not someone else's timeline. Either way, the magnitude of this decision means we will remember this week not for noise, but for the clarity that eventually emerges. And us? We'll be watching as the storyline inches toward a resolution. Will the next chapter open with a contract and a jet-set calendar, or with a quieter affirmation that love is its own grand role? Or perhaps, as many hope, the most surprising twist will be the simplest, that they find a way to fold opportunity into devotion, to say yes to work and yes to each other, rewriting the rulebook in the process. Tell us what your heart says. Do you believe Yağmur should step into the global spotlight right now, trusting that the bond with Baris can weather distance and attention? Or do you feel that his words deserve an answer spoken not in interviews, but in the everyday choices that keep two people aligned? Share your thoughts below, and let us know which other stars and stories you want us to uncover in future episodes. Your voice shapes this space, and your insight keeps our conversations real. Thank you for spending time with us here at Secrets Behind the Stars. Don't forget to subscribe, click like, and support our work by pressing join if you want access to exclusive content and early scoops. We'll be back soon with more revelations from the shimmering edge where Turkish talent meets the world, and where love, ambition, and destiny collide in the most unforgettable ways.